Time now for a look at some of the day's top business news with France 24's Cole Stangler. Morning to you, Cole.
Hey, Will.
Beginning with one of the most interesting stories we've had, I think, in some time.
I agree.
The growing scrutiny over retail investing.
Yeah, that's right. After a frenzied few days of trading, online brokers effectively moving to restrict the ability of retail investors to buy certain stocks. Now, the most high-profile one to take that step is the app Robinhood, because it did so to, quote, protect the firm and its customers. A move that comes as investors have driven gains in a small group of stocks, taking on hedge funds that had bet on those very same stocks to lose value. Catherine Viette has the latest.
The battle between Main Street and Wall Street has spread to online trading platforms. One of the most popular, Robinhood, has drawn fire from its customers after it restricted the buying of shares in GameStop and several other companies.
You know, they're called Robinhood, right? So, it's kind of ironic that they're helping the big guys, hedge funds. They have a big stake in Robinhood, and they get to tell them what to do, and, that's not right. They're screwing us over, and we're angry.
Robinhood's decision comes after wild trading of troubled retailer GameStop has caused its shares to rise more than 700% over the past week. Using online stock forums like Wall Street Bets on Reddit, an army of amateur investors has banded together, taking on hedge funds that have bet big against GameStop. They've been able to inflict losses running to billions of dollars on several big Wall Street names. While the volatility has drawn scrutiny from regulators concerned about market manipulation, some analysts say that small investors are being treated unfairly.
Major market manipulation is not done by retail traders on Reddit. That's not where the major issue comes from on a social level. That's not who's gotten $1 trillion worth of bailouts. So they could be behind some distortions in some trading for sure. But if you think that's where the main action in this business is, you don't know this business very well.
Some members of Congress are now calling for an investigation into stock market practices.
Now, earlier, France 24 spoke with analyst Jamil Ahmad. He talked about the potential for this week's turbulence to spark action in Washington. The new Democratic majority has promised to both clamp down on speculation and make investing fairer.
The incoming Senate Banking Committee chairman, Senator Brown, has basically said that it's time for the SEC, which is the regulator, Congress, which we know is a huge political body, to come together to make sure that the U.S. economy and the overall economy can work for everybody, not just the wealthier on Wall Street, but everybody can participate in the market. And it's gone further than that. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has been quoted as saying that the trades are interested in what's happened in the market over the past couple of days. Whereas Elizabeth Warren has also gone to say that we want to see more day traders in this market. We want to see more participation. And there was already an underlying factor headed into the 2020 presidential elections that Democratic lawmakers specifically were going to cast a very big eye on what's happening in the market. Technology firms becoming very powerful over the 2020 because of the pandemic. And this particular episode is only going to bring even more light, even more attention from the major authorities to take a look at also what's happening in the speculative investment markets too.
Now, Robinhood says it'll allow some limited buying of those restricted shares on Friday. We'll keep a closer eye on that later in the day. For now, let's take a look at the major European indexes, all in red to start the day. The FTSE and the CAC 40 here in Paris, both trading around really all the major indexes. Also, the DAX in Frankfurt around 1.4 to 1.7% losses there. Rising coronavirus cases weighing on the markets there. Asian indexes also in negative territories. You can see there the Nikkei down nearly 2%. Steeper loss, on the Kospi and Seoul down around 3% there.
Next up, data shining light on the scope of the recession here in France.
That's right. According to the State Statistics Agency, GDP fell a staggering 8.3% over the course of 2020. Now, that's slightly better than expectations, but still marks the worst annual drop since World War II. It's also on par with what the EU anticipates for the Eurozone as a whole. France's central bank is projecting a recovery this year of some 5%. Still, that means activity won't return to its pre-crisis level before the middle of 2022.
And staying here in France now, where small business owners are bracing for the possibility of a third national lockdown.
That's right. Well, it's one possibility among others that's under examination by the government right now. Like around the world, health restrictions have hit restaurants especially hard over the last several months. Despite state aid, nearly 2/3 of restaurant and cafe owners say they fear having to shut down. In the city of Rennes, some say they're struggling to hold on. Take a listen.
Je crois que le pire est derrière nous et le pire est à venir en fait. Je crois qu'on est au milieu d'un sacré bourbier et personne ne sait où on va.
On est des bons petits soldats, mais aujourd'hui, j'ai l'impression que trop c'est trop.
So, Will, important to emphasize, there hasn't been a decision taken, but as the government's studying this possibility, certainly that anxiety, that frustration weighing on the government as they're coming to a decision about what measures to take.
All right. Thank you very much, Cole. Cole Stengler from the business